Hello everyone, Xiaoling here and welcome back to Walkthrough and Impressions, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Smash and Grab. Some of you may know the game from playing the closed beta a few weeks ago, or even seeing some footage online or even on the channel. But for those of you who don't know, Smash and Grab is a PvP based, well mostly PvP based, multiplayer 3v3 looting game, I suppose. The goal is basically to loot stores, get a total of 50,000 before the other team. But before we get into the gameplay itself, I want to talk a little bit about the options as well as how the crew in the game works. So first up we have options. Smash and Grab is done in the Unity engine, but it has a surprising amount of graphic options for a Unity game, because most Unity games just have one slider, which is low, medium, high. However, there are presets from low, medium, high and ultra. But there are also a number of other customizable settings like texture details, shadows, VFX, anti-aliasing. We've got ambient occlusion, anisotropic filtering. Anisotropic filtering is a little bit odd, the setting with an on and off. I would have preferred a bar which allows you to choose, because I don't know if this is 16 times or 8 times or whatever the game decides to default to as on. So that would have been nice. Depth of field, bloom, screen space, reflection, VSync, which is off in my case since I am running a G-Sync screen, and a performance indicator, which you'll see once we get into the game proper. The one thing I do want to say though is no matter what I seem to set the graphic detail on, the frame rate still seems to drop the same. So on high and ultra I get the same frame rate, so I'm not sure what the problem is. This game is still in early access, so obviously there are still some optimization things that need to be done. In some cases I find my frame rate dropping into the 40s, which is a little bit odd considering I'm running an i7 6700K, 32 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1070. So hopefully that's going to get ironed out during the early access period. But otherwise, pretty happy with the option settings that are available in the game. Moving on to the audio settings, you can see music, sound effects, speech volume and video, which is nice to see. And speech profanity if you don't like the swearing that's built into the game. And you can also have the game mute when minimized, all pretty standard stuff here. There are a number of different keyboard rebinds that you can do. The one thing that they have added since the closed beta was the ability to order your crew around, so you can tell them to loot stuff, attack people, or just follow you. That is still done via a radial menu, which I will show you once we're in the game. But I think it would have been nice if these were hotkeyable. And then of course invert look and mouse sensitivity. If you are using a controller, there are 5 different controller configs that you can choose from, which is nice to see. Most games I've come across just have the controller, and those are the settings that you have to live with. Unfortunately, again, you can't actually customize the buttons to what you'd like, which I still find quite strange, because if I recall, even on my PlayStation 1 back in the day, there were certain games I could customize my controller config. And then finally, we've got the voice chat, so you can set your sound, your microphone device, and of course you can have voice chat enabled or disabled, push to talk and that kind of thing. The odd thing is that when I played the closed beta, I didn't come across anybody who actually used the voice chat. So the first time I actually heard someone talking over voice chat was this past weekend when we had early access to the game for our preview videos and things like that, and we got to play with some of the developers who were basically the only people who actually used the voice chat. Here's hoping that when the game does launch on early access that more folks are going to use the voice chat, because it does help a lot for teamwork and things like that. That's pretty much it for the options in the game. Let's head over to how the crews work. Now, in Smash and Grab, you play a leader. So, for example, you have 3 different factions to choose from. Each faction has 3 leaders. You can see, though, in the Dapper faction that 2 of the leaders are currently unavailable, but you can take all 3 leaders of all the other factions. What I will say, though, is each faction has a light character. Like in this case, we have Null. You have a heavy character, in this case Doomchild, and then you have a ranged character. So every faction has one character of that class, so a heavy, a light and a ranged. Although not all the lights are the same. For example, you can see that in the Doom Riders, Null is a light fighter, so he's good in big brawls and deals consistent damage, whereas someone like Ten Blade is a disabler, so she's good at taking out single targets, whereas in group situations she's going to be far less useful. Yeah, so depending on your playstyle, you are going to probably find a leader here that suits your fancy. Again, each leader can be customized with the way that they look. These customizations are locked generally, so as you level up that particular leader, you'll unlock more. And also as you level up your actual entire account, you'll unlock more customization options. Again, this game is in early access, so there are quite a limited amount of customizations at the moment that you can choose from. And even in my case, having played the beta for a good 10 hours, there's still a number of things that are locked for me, which I hope to unlock once the game goes live. And yeah, so you can customize the face gear, your torso, the legs, the feet, the back, the hand, and the face as well. So I'm looking forward to see what other kinds of customizations they're going to be adding. Also, each character has perks, so you can see there are 3 different skill trees available in the game. There's a refund button here, or you can just right click on a skill. So for example, if I don't want these skills, I could just right click on it. It will give me my 2 points back, and then I can choose to put them in somewhere else and select and build my character's skill tree the way I want. Obviously, you have to have unlocked the top skills to get access to the next tier. And again, you can see the 3rd tier of skills are currently unavailable in the early access version of the game. And then finally, with every weapon, you've got 3 types of that weapon aside from your starting weapon, and each of these weapons can be modded. So you can see there are 2 mod variations for each weapon. So for example, the Protester Sonic Hammer will increase your movement speed and also increase damage to stores, so you can loot faster, or the Freeze Hammer, which is going to slow people when you do damage to them. And of course, you've got different shock mods which will stun people, fire which does damage over time, and things like that. And then of course, every weapon type, so if I move over to a heavy character and I head over to his weapons, you can see you start with the 2x4, and then you've got the shovel, the axe, and the sledgehammer. And again, all of these have very similar mods to the weapons prior. Also, you can see that each mod requires certain ingredients. So you can see here the Avalanche Cold Sledgehammer requires chemicals, which you get the Lux RX store. There are different stores that you can loot. It's not always so clear what store you're looting. I mean, the map just shows you a green block. I think it would be nice if it was a little bit clearer as to what type of store it was, so you could say, okay, you know, you need to get that particular crafting ingredient. So what ends up happening during the match is that you loot whatever store you can, and the moment you get an upgrade, you'll probably end up just upgrading that particular weapon, and it won't always be the exact one that you want of the 2 selectable ones. And then of course you have the same thing for the guns. If I take a ranged character here, you can see there are you get the super nail gun. You start with the basic nail gun, the crossbow, and then the shotgun. And again, all of these have mods as well. So that's pretty cool. So you can customize your character. You have a lieutenant who is played by the AI. And again, you can see you have a number of different lieutenants to choose from, and all of these are based off similar classes. You've got the heavy, the light, light fighter, heavy raiders. Raiders are generally better at smashing and looting. Fighters are better at fighting, obviously. Protectors are characters that are good support roles. And then disablers, who obviously disable players, slowing them down and things like that. So you can choose your lieutenant based off your playstyle as well. And as with your main character, your lieutenant can be customized as well. And all of these things, again, are unlocked as you level up. And then finally move into your lieutenants. They also have skill trees, which work in pretty much the same way as your main character. You can just right click and get points back and then add points in. Finally, the soldiers, you don't really customize the way they look. The way they look is determined by the type of role that they play. So for example, you'll start with the first top 3 soldiers available. So you'll have the raiders, and these guys are good at breaking and looting stores. You've got the protectors, who will increase your crew regeneration and also protect your leader when they're being attacked. And then of course you've got your fighters, who will have more health and do more damage to enemy units. And you can see there are 3 other soldier classes here. These are going to be better versions of the base ones, but require me to get my leader up to level 10 in order to unlock. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I think I can cover with regard to character customization and character types and perks and all that kind of thing. So I think without further ado, let's get into the game. Now, in the early access version of the game, there are currently only 2 maps available, each representing one of the game modes. We've got Upmarket, which I suppose is your standard game mode. You have to loot stores until you get 50,000 in order to win. And then you've got Takeback, which takes place in Steel City. You also have to get to 50,000 to win, but on this map, a strong box spawns every 3 minutes, and if you return the strong box to your base, you get a 10,000 reward. Kind of like Capture the Flag, I suppose. Or you can do a quick play, which will randomly pick one of these 2 maps, and then you can play each of these modes against bots. I think what we'll do in this video is just go through the upmarket map. This is the default mode of the game, I suppose. You can choose to play co-op against bots as well, or you can just play solo. Obviously, in this case, I'm just going to play solo. What I might end up doing is overlaying some of the multiplayer footage that I did play with the devs over this if I do need to when I'm doing the editing of this video. Okay, so in the top right corner, you can see the map, and the idea is to try and equip your leader with the weapon. So you can see, oh, and the AI has taken all the weapons, so I'm getting to be stuck with my crowbar. Normally you'd get the hammer over here, and then you can loot these stores. Once you've broken the windows, you just hold right click and take all of the monies. You can see the score counter up in the top of the screen there, and the idea is to try and get as much money as possible, as I mentioned before, but there's a limited amount you can get each round. Let's see if we can grab this. Now, getting the weapons that are not specific to your class is pretty important as well. Like you can see, my lieutenant's a heavy, so getting him a better heavy weapon is definitely going to be beneficial. So let's grab this. But keeping in mind that while you're smashing these, trying to get these weapons, your team might be losing a battle in order to get more cash. So it is a toss-up as to when you are going to... Let's kill this guy. Get him. Okay. It is a toss-up as to when you should be going for the weapons and when you should be helping your team in group fights. Beat up all these. The combat in the game is relatively simple. Left click to attack. I suppose it feels a bit simple because I've been playing For Honor too much. But left click to attack. You hold space to block. And a block will block an attack, obviously. But while you're blocking, you're vulnerable to grabs. Let's loot this. Oh, it's already open, so we can just grab all the cash in here. So there's kind of a rock, paper, scissors going on in the game where a smash will beat a grab and a grab will beat a block. And a block will beat a smash, basically. You've also got these vending machines scattered throughout the game that you can smash and you can get extra armor or you can get extra health and things like this. Let's kill this guy. Goodbye. Grab him. As you can see, the performance is still a little bit all over the place. Again, this is early access. The performance is better than it was in the closed beta, but it still definitely needs some work. So you've got health things here. You can see this is on cooldown now, so we've got to wait for it to respawn. This indicates that I can pick up a hammer on their side, actually. Ah, it's not broken, so we need to smash it. You can see the AI has double amount of money that we have at the moment. And we're being shot by a ranged guy. Okay, we got it. Oh, I was outnumbered. So when you die, you respawn. There's really no penalty. But when you do die, the enemy player will get money for his team. You can see here I've picked up enough crafting materials. I spoke about the crafting earlier. You can see that I only have materials at least for the protester, which is better for looting. Your soldiers each have one of the weapon types. So your 3 soldiers, one will have a light weapon, one will have a heavy weapon, and the one will have a ranged weapon. Also, generally going into outnumbered situations are a bad idea. Also, if you die like any game, you know, your team's going to be down 1 member and then your team's going to be at a disadvantage. So knowing when to engage is also going to be a good idea. You can sprint as well in the game. Got a stamina bar in the bottom there, you can see. I've been crippled. Okay, so we outnumber this guy. Let's see if we can sort him out and help the team. And he countered me with a block. Oh. You can see my health is pretty low. I think we can kill this guy. There's no target locking system in the game, so you just kind of have to aim in the right direction to get the hit off. Control rolls, so you can roll out of the way of encounters as well. And now we're looting this. The health does regenerate over time as well, but very slowly. So generally it's a bad idea to find a regen station if you can. And you can see also it indicates which phase of the match we're in, phase 2, so the new weapons are available. So you can see I can head over to this pointy icon over here to get a better sword. So in this case it'll be the machete. Let's get this, it'll do more damage, make us more effective in fights. Let's grab that before the AI takes them all. And obviously the bigger stores, indicated by the bigger green blocks, will reward you with more cash. And the AI is still far ahead of us. We are catching up though. Okay, so we can see we've unlocked one of the upgrades for this thing, so I can just head over to an upgrade machine. Health is full, so I don't need health. Okay, there's the AI. Let me just upgrade this to fire, which is damage over time. Okay, so this is going to help us significantly. We get one hit off, the guy's going to set a light. You can see he just burns for a little while, which is great. Okay, let's grab this. And each stage you want to upgrade the weapons for your crew as well to make them more effective if you do get a chance, but now is not the time for you to do that. Okay, let's grab this guy. As I said, each character also has special abilities. Okay, let's use it on this guy. You can see this does a fair amount of damage. Goodbye. And we also get loot drops. These can sometimes be money, sometimes they can be buffs as well. So we just smash this. And what do we get? We got some cash, which is nice. So now, with everything taken, we could decide to go and upgrade the weapons for our crew and our lieutenant with the blue crosshair icon or the heavy weapon. Looks like we have some company here. I can throw this to wound this guy. I'll do more damage against people who are crippled. And I'll do this so my team grabs. There we go. Sorted him out. Okay. Also, if your crew members die, it takes them a little while to respawn, so that's also good. It means that the enemy animation's pretty good. It means the enemy is going to be less effective because they have less crew with them. Okay, he's dead. Grab him. Yeah. The game's a lot of fun in my time that I've spent with it so far. I spent about, I think, 10 hours, 12 hours with the beta. And only about 3 hours, I suppose, with this pre-release version. Okay, let's do this. Goodbye. Doom Hammer. Or Doom Child, sorry. Man, this AI just keeps coming. I need to get those weapons, man. He's dead. Obviously, playing real plays is a little bit more challenging. The AI doesn't seem particularly that competent. I didn't see any setting to change the difficulty for the AI either. Okay, you can see level 3 stores are unlocked, and that unlocks these super stores. You can see the two big green stores. These stores offer, I believe it's 10,000 in total each. But they are guarded by police with big weapons and things like that, so it's a little bit risky to start attacking the guards at the store, especially when being attacked by the enemy. Okay, it looks like the AI in our team is actually attacking that. But I think what we'll do is we'll grab this weapon. Now, if I had chosen raiders as my looters, okay, let's try it again. If I had chosen raiders as my soldiers, I would have been able to break through the store window significantly faster. Let's upgrade this final sword because my build is based around this sword doing more damage. And in this case, you can see that I have access to both. So I can do bleed or I can do poison. I think I'll do poison because it removes stamina as well. And we have a police guy here. Kill him. These guys are quite dangerous with their stun weapons. Just hopefully the enemy doesn't come and attack us at this point. Kill him. Is that everybody? Alright. Okay, so if you hold Alt, you can see you get a little dialogue wheel. You can tell people to go off, back off, help, things like that. Then you can tell your crew to loot, attack, and that kind of thing. I think, as I said earlier with the keys, it would have been nice if this was... Ooh. If it was hotkeyable. Okay, what did we get? Mega boost. Get some health as well. Go get this AI. That was a bad idea for that guy to attack us. And you can see the buffs that we currently have listed at the top there. So we have 2 damage buffs, an armor buff, and a speed buff, which makes us pretty tough to kill at this point. Goodbye. And he's going to take poison damage as well, and now he's dead. Okay, let's smash this, shall we? It takes a little bit of time to get used to because it can be quite chaotic at times, as you can probably see. But the game is fun. You know, the animations are good. I think the graphics look good. The game will eventually run better, hopefully. But I think the premise of the game is fun. It's relatively original. There's not really anything quite like it. And I think there's a lack of melee-based games out there. So when a good one comes along, it's always a pleasure to play. Okay, you can see that the enemy is now heading to the next main store. But what we could do is upgrade our people, although I don't know, with 2 minutes left. Oh, it's already broken. With 2 minutes left, I don't know if that's such a good idea. Is this open? No, it's not. Smash it. I think we should be able to get there in time. Oh, we're on 48,000 already. We're probably going to win before the time runs out. Grab this. Yep, we're going to win. We're already grabbing loot from here. And that should be it. Yay, and we win. So yeah, I think the game has a lot of potential. Well guys, that's been a look at Smash and Grab. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and it gave you a little bit of an idea what the game's about, what the early access version consists of. They are going to be adding more maps and more modes and more characters and customizations and, you know, the whole shebang of stuff when the full version releases and apparently during the course of the early access. But what I will say though is that I've had a great time with the game so far. I've actually really enjoyed it and I highly recommend checking it out. I believe it's going to be selling for $20 in the early access phase. I think the full release is going to sell for a little bit more, so if you do want to get the game for a little bit of a cheaper price, it's probably worth picking up on early access. Alright guys, that wraps up this video for Smash and Grab. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, since any kind of support helps out the channel a great deal. Otherwise guys, I've been Xiaoling. Until next time.